We're going to create a small shed or a small house in this class. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to Products, then SketchUp for Web. Then you're going to click on Start Modeling. And then you guys are going to be taken to another page, and it's going to ask you for your Google login credentials. Make sure you put your student credentials on there. And then it'll take you to a blank canvas where you will actually create your shed or small house. Once you are here, first off, I would recommend going up to this little folder, click on that, click on New. Make sure you choose Simple Template Feet and Inches. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to create a box. So you're going to go to the rectangle. We're going to come over here and just create a simple box. It doesn't give dimensions in this direction, so it's not a big deal how big or small it is. We'll come up here to the push-pull. I'm going to make mine about 15 feet. So I'm going to go 15 apostrophe enter, and that's about 15 feet. There's a couple ways you can actually do a roof. You can come over here to the pencil, find the midpoint, go all the way down to the other side, click, and then go to the Move tool, and we can just move this up. And you want to follow the blue axis line when you do that. That's one way to actually create a roof. Another way you can actually do that is if I come over here and I go to the pencil tool, find the midpoint, go up, and then come over here to this endpoint, and then go from this point to this endpoint, and then come over here and I will erase that line. Then we can do the push-pull all the way back, just like that. So now you want to create a door. So you're going to come over here back to the rectangle tool. We're going to create a rectangular door here. I wouldn't worry about where it is on the actual shed at this point. We're going to come over here to the arc as well and ask you to do a 2-point arc, I believe. So I'm going to go back to the selection tool, make sure I've got that selected. Go to the 2-point arc. Go from this point to this point and go up. Follow the blue axis line and then click. And then in order to get rid of that line right there, we're going to go to the eraser and just erase it like that. And if you right click on that, it'll erase it completely and you can actually see on the inside. Alright, so the next thing it's going to ask you to do is it's going to ask you to create a couple windows. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a kind of a square rectangle window. Let me go back and do that. When you do this, you want to make sure that it says on face, meaning that it's actually on the house and it's not sticking off the side of the house. We'll also kind of make kind of a crazy window of your choice. Make sure you go from dot to dot on this, otherwise it won't actually work. And then make sure everything is actually connected. See, I didn't do that right, and you can tell because it's actually sticking outside of the house. So I'm going to come back over here. I'll just do Control Z. We'll redo that again. So I'm going to come over here, make sure it says on face, and it does. Click right here. It says on face. It says on face. Perfect. That should actually work. It's right on the house. And that's what we want right there. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to actually go to the paint bucket and we're going to paint this thing. So here's your materials list. We come over here to the browse area and I'm going to go to, let's do the actual roof. So I'm going to go to the roofing section, choose anything you want. I'm going to actually put some brick on the side of the house as well. And I'll put some brick right up there, put some right up there as well. Now, for these windows, we're going to actually try to make these translucent to where you can actually see through it. So I'm going to go to my glass and mirrors, and I'm going to choose this one right here. And this should allow me to see through, just like that. And what we could also do is we could take a pencil and kind of creative here and go all the way down from one point to another, kind of divide this thing up. So now I can make different colors and it's still translucent. I can still see through the house here. The next thing we need to do is we can actually, let's say we want to fill in the door and we don't want to just be able to see through. So if you take the pencil and you go from one end to the other, that'll fill it in. We can go to the circle. So go to the rectangle, press that. Let me click this again, go back to that, click on the circle. Now I would go back and make that translucent so we can see through there. And then we can paint this whatever you want. So we can do kind of a wood color if that's what you want. Paint that as well. And then one last thing, if we come over here to, let's see, we're going to go and we're going to grab 3D text. So here's your 3D text. You can type in anything you want. So if you want to type your name, we can type it in and you can tell it what the height is, how much you want to extrude it out. We'll hit OK. Put it right on the actual house itself. And there you go, that's 3D text. So let's just say you want to make that a little bit to where that sticks out just a little bit more. We're going to scale that thing. So if I come over here, select it, I can make it bigger, I can make it, you can do just about anything with the actual scaling icon there. And that is it for this lesson. It's not perfect, but it goes through all the major points, and that is it.